You're listening to the Divine Timing Podcast, a weekly spiritual information station where souls check in, spirit speaks up, and energy gets the attention it deserves, all served with love and laughter. Come for the insight, stay for the laughs, and leave just a little brighter. Thanks for tuning in to Divine Timing. I'm Dr. D. I want to start this week's episode by having you take a moment to just check in with the energy of your body. How are you feeling? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling anxious? Maybe calm and peaceful, afraid? Just take a second to feel where you are. We're going to come back to this later. The frequency forecast that I have for you right now in the collective is that we are seeing big energy, lots of changes and shifts in very important aspects of humanity and individual life experiences right now. March will feel like a roller coaster ride on a belly full of chili dogs, y'all. That's why I want you to know in this very first episode that we need to talk about something that comes up so frequently when working with clients. So for today's Dear D segment, I picked a question from Ned for today's topic because of the way it beautifully helps lay the foundation of future episodes when we talk about frequency, energy, and astrology. Now, Ned is a client that I used to work with, and I have changed his name for privacy's sake, and he did give me permission to use his question. Ned asked, Dear D, do planets really make us do things that we have no control over? Do you believe that their energy really influences human behavior in large ways, like in a retrograde? Ned, I am so glad that you asked, because planets don't beam down magic rays like a sci-fi movie. They influence us because we all live inside one gigantic energetic ecosystem, the solar system. Everything in it is constantly moving, vibrating, and interacting. It's all connected. Everything is energy, literally everything. Your thoughts are energy. You think a thought, and whatever vibration that thought is resonating on is the frequency that you are putting out there into the universe. That frequency acts like a magnet, and you bring back to yourself the same frequency match of what you put out there. This is why a sad thought might instantly make you cry, give you a heavy feeling in your chest, and can quite literally take your breath away. Thoughts become things, friends. If you constantly think low vibrational thoughts, you are tuning into that vibration. Therefore, the things in your reality start to reflect your thoughts. Thoughts become things. What we put out always comes back. You will hear me say that a lot on this podcast. So put out kindness to yourself and others, even when it's hard. And honey, these next few weeks, it's going to feel hard. But that's why I'm here. Planets are like gigantic energetic magnets. Earth is inside their field, and so are we. Just like the moon affects the tides, and our bodies are mostly water, every planet has its own energetic signature that interacts with Earth's environment and our personal energy fields. Planets don't have to touch us in the physical to influence us. Their energy moves through space like waves, like Wi-Fi, radio waves, Bluetooth, sound vibrations. You don't see them, but you feel and experience the effects. Earth is inside the solar system's energy soup, as I like to call it. We're not separate from the planets. We're inside the same energetic environment connected through energy. Imagine the solar system as a gigantic bowl of soup. The sun is the heat source. The planets are ingredients releasing flavor. Earth is one of the veggies floating in the broth, and we're just the salt clinging to the earth veggie. When one ingredient changes, the whole soup tastes different. That's astrology. Humans are sensitive to energy because we're energy too. Everything is. Our bodies run on electrical impulses, magnetic fields, rhythms, cycles, frequencies. Your heartbeat literally uses electrical signals. Your brain communicates through electrical currents. Your nervous system responds to energetic shifts instantly. So when the solar system shifts, we feel it. Not because we're weak or woo-woo, but because we're built to respond to energy. Have you ever walked into a room where you just interrupted people arguing? You can cut the tension energy with a butter knife. And also, your senses are probably shouting, abort, abort, bad timing, quick, make an awkward joke. At least that's what I would do. And this is especially true for empaths. Collectively, we already accept that there are planetary influences without question. For example, we know that the moon controls the tides, that solar flares affect satellites, that seasons change because of Earth's tilt, that animals migrate on planetary cycles, that plants grow by lunar phases. If the moon can move the ocean, it can move your emotions. If the sun can power an entire planet, it can influence your energy. Astrology just expands our understanding to all the planets. Astrology is the study of patterns, not magic, although sometimes it can feel very magical. Astrology doesn't say planets force you to do anything. It says, instead, planets create energetic weather, and humans respond to that weather. Patterns also repeat, just like weather patterns repeat, right? And we can learn from those patterns. It's kind of like when we get tornado warnings or hurricane warnings or even earthquake warnings. We can read the energetic patterns and make inferences about what could potentially happen. Just like how you dress differently when it's raining, you act differently when you're tired or when you're hungry. You feel different in summer versus winter. Planetary energy is simply another layer of environmental influence. Planets affect us because we're all living inside the same energetic neighborhood. Each planet gives off its own frequency, like a radio station, and Earth is constantly moving through those signals. Since humans are energetic beings, we naturally respond to those frequencies. So astrology is just the weather report for that energy. Since Ned mentioned retrograde, I do want to explain that as I record this, we are in a Mercury retrograde. So you kind of might be feeling like you have some cosmic indigestion. Now, retrogrades do not need to be messy if we understand that they are an illusion and what aspects of human life they are most likely to affect. A planet is said to be in retrograde when it appears to be moving backward from Earth's perspective. However, it's an illusion. It's not really set in reverse. If you break down the root word, the re means back. But in this case, it's just asking us to revisit, come back to, reevaluate some old patterns, emotions, things that we've put aside for another day. A retrograde will ask us to revisit things that we haven't dealt with or resolved, a lesson we haven't fully learned. Those often come in when whatever form of humanity the planet in retrograde is said to rule. Take Mercury, for example. Mercury is the planet that rules our communication, our thinking and reasoning, learning and memory, writing and speaking, listening and interpreting, electronics and digital communication, travel and transportation, daily routines, commerce and contracts, our coordination and our nervous system. So this is why in a Mercury retrograde, we may see an increase in miscommunication, travel issues, minor inconvenience with our daily routines that are telling us our health is at risk and we need to change them. Electronics will start to act up. Your car might break down. You might get into more accidents. Elderly people fall more. Mercury retrogrades are like the drunk uncle that nobody wanted to invite to Christmas, but we have to because he's part of the family too. Mercury rules some pretty big aspects of the human experience. That is why it's so popularly talked about when it goes retrograde. I'm just here to anchor you back to yourself. And when things pop up surrounding these issues, you can reflect and say, okay, what is this pattern of energy asking me to revisit or reevaluate in my life? It's important that when an incident happens that might shift your vibration, you simply recognize the emotion that just popped up for you. You put your conscious awareness on how that emotion made you feel, breathe through it, to move through it, and recognize it for what it is. It's like turning the light on in the dark to the scary monster and realizing it wasn't there to begin with. That's how you go with the flow. Because whatever you are feeling right now, through the law of attraction, you're creating into your reality and you're attracting it back to yourself. This is why it's important to understand energy and the law of attraction. And even if you're listening to this as a seasoned expert on the topic, I think you'll find the information here still valuable as we talk about the energy and planets and vibrations and help you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and others. And truly, how we are all universally connected through energetic vibrations. When you feel like your energy is off, do an energetic reset. This is why I asked you in the beginning to do an energetic check-in with yourself. It is like checking the oil. Put your conscious awareness on what vibes you are casting out into the ethers right now. Because if you don't do an energetic reset when that happens, if you are vibrating pretty low and you don't do something consciously to change that vibration, do you know what happens? The law of attraction happens. You get hit with a cosmic speeding ticket like you were just going 55 in a school zone. If you continue to tune into the vibration of anger, frustration, etc., then you are telling the energy, let's keep this dumpster fire going, bring on the gasoline. And more situations that cause you anger or frustration or whatever low vibration you might be feeling will keep happening in your daily routines. So just so you're aware, we are in a Mercury retrograde till about March 20th, and Mercury goes into retrograde several times throughout the year, as all planets do. At one point or another, a different planet is always in retrograde from Earth's perspective, where we are in the universe, depending on, our orbit at the time, right? So just know that they don't have to be a big, scary disruption to your life. This month, we do need to buckle up, Buttercup, because the cosmos, well, they didn't come to play. They came to take charge. Health issues will pop up for people. Since Mercury affects our coordination, freak accidents will happen more, and weird health things will happen more. This is a time when you may feel called to follow your intuition, be more creative, make cleansing changes, and probably need more rest than normal. There's a lot of big career changes happening for people this month as well. It's kind of a reset, asking us to reevaluate what's not working in our life. And the reason that you may feel like you need more rest than normal, and perhaps you haven't really consciously discovered the way that, some weeks maybe you feel more drained than others. And a lot of times our human mind will chalk that up to, well, I just haven't been sleeping as well, or maybe I'm coming down with something. If you start looking at the energy patterns, sometimes when we have, like we are for the month of March, when we're having big shifts in energy come in, our bodies will feel that, and it is going to require us to care for ourselves energetically more than other times. And so it's important that you listen to your body. When you're drained, rest. Nap when you need to nap, if you can. If you can't, then at least give your soul something that can help recharge it. This is a time too when your romantic life might get spicy. If there's been someone in or on your radar, because confidence is going to boost during this period, and there's a lot of bold moves and announcements and stances happening. So that can kind of spice up the love life too. You're also going to see this stuff played out in your headlines. The eclipse that we had helped to bring highlights of things that need cleaned up and let go of. This is meant for healing purposes, not harmful. You're going to see endings, beginnings, and divine clarity, all wrapped in a cosmic hug. You will see the same energy reflected in your news headlines. There's going to be a we need to clean this mess up energy, and larger systems setting boundaries and saying enough is enough. We can't keep doing this the old way. Now, why do I mention what you might be experiencing through the collective, through the external, and through the headlines? Well, it's so you can feel empowered with the knowledge that this is energy playing out in physical motion. It is an energy pattern playing out and divinely created for evolution. I know that it can feel scary, chaotic, and for many like the world is going to hell. Without an understanding of the energy, we will let it run away with us. and it can feel like we are being ping-ponged through life. This is where I bring you back once more to the question of what frequency are you vibrating on? You must raise your vibration during this collective energy shift and stay grounded within your soul. Stay grounded within your reality, not the reality of fear, panic, and anxiety. Those are created within our minds. And then, because our thoughts are things, they're created in our body as an emotional response. But that means that you can also create high vibrational things with your thoughts, and those too will create emotional responses. So first, you need to ground yourself anytime that you recognize a low vibrational thought. Literally visualize roots coming out of your feet, digging deep into the earth while you take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're safe, that you are whole, and that you are divinely supported. Bring yourself back to the here and now moment. Then, think of things that raise your vibration, even if it's one small thing that you have to be thankful for that makes you happy. Turn on music. Do a workout. Move your dang body, guys. Dance. Drink water. Drink water. Drink water. Eat high vibrational foods. Anything that's had life force energy in it. Anything that's been alive. Plants, vegetables. That's the same thing. I just named the same thing twice with two different words. You gotta love Mercury retrograde. What I was trying to say was veggies and fruits. Okay, even meats have life force energy in them. Do what you can to raise your vibration, things that are healthy. And this is how you beat that mental tormentor, right? And the collective energy that might make you feel heavy and weighed down as we shift. There is power in recognition. There is power in knowledge. So I'm here to bring you both knowledge of the way that energy affects you, but also the conscious recognition to your vibrational frequencies so that you can choose to tune into higher frequencies when you need. So as I said, you may notice this month that you need to nap more than usual, that your intuition is louder, that you're suddenly emotional over things that you weren't before, like commercials. Although if it's an ASPCA commercial, like it doesn't matter what time of the year that happens, we're all going to cry anyway. You may be craving creativity, music, or spiritual connection. Maybe that's how you found my podcast today. You're doing these things based on vibes and not logic. This is the go with the flow transit. If you try to force things, you'll feel like you're swimming upstream with a backpack full of bricks. You may feel a sudden urge to declutter. And remember I said energy moves in patterns? And so this is why for us over here in our northern hemisphere, we call this spring cleaning. You may need to fix your routines, and you know that. Like, I've got to get into a better routine. My daily routine is not working for me. You may have a desire to get your health together, and that might be because some health things popped up for you or popped up for somebody that you in your life that you love, and you recognize that's a message for me. I need to change my pattern, my health too. A realization that someone or something is no longer aligned. Lots of breakups happening right now. A strong, I can't keep doing this moment. I need to change. That's where job shifts come in. So you may be feeling a bit bolder in speaking up about what you want and need, setting boundaries without apologizing. You could also feel a bit more attractive and magnetic as we have Venus coming in, the planet of love, and getting that sudden burst of just like energy of like, I have the ability to change my reality, right? Change my experiences. So my hope for you is this month you're going to start feeling a bit bolder in your love and looking in the mirror and saying, oh, I am cute. So this month, stop settling, okay? Take those sudden realizations. Take those messages that you need to hear. Dreams can get more vivid and feel like a sign. Conversations might feel like, wow, that was just for me and it just brought me a lot of clarity. You might be getting spiritual downloads that hit you like lightning. This is the universe whispering, here's the answer that you've been asking for. And anchor the coming weeks with intention. This is about releasing what's not serving you, finding clarity, and stepping into a new version of yourself. So set an intention that matches that energy. Be honest with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be bold for yourself. This month is a doorway, so walk through it with intention and just know from an energetic standpoint that you are supported in that. It is not a coincidence, after all this energy that I just explained, that I'm finally launching this show that I have been in labor with for over 4 years. Spirit said, now is the time, and I can feel it down to my soul. It's like I have finally given birth to something that I knew was coming all along. This is powerful energy. And even if you're listening to this well after the fact, that's okay. The energy is there for you to shift into at any time, because energy doesn't know time. Only humans do. We created that. We created time, okay, to keep us oriented in our time and space. But energy does not abide by those rules. So thanks again to Ned for his question. And I hope this landed for others in Divine Timing as well. Feel free to follow me on social media at Divine Timing. I think it's on TikTok. I'm Divine Timing 8, but that's it for this week. And I know that that was a lot. So if you have questions for me that you would like answered on air, feel free to email me at divinetiming11@gmail.com, and I will feature your question and answer it for you on the show. Thanks for listening. And remember that you're walking in your purpose and you're shining in the light. So keep the light on.
I see the stars aligning in the velvet of the night, a map of ancient wisdom written in the silver light. Mercury is moving, but your heart is staying still. You're standing at the threshold of a higher kind of will. The cycle's turning slowly like a wheel within the sky. There is no need to panic or to ask the reason why. Just breathe into the present, let the heavy shadows fall. You're exactly where you're needed, answering the sacred call. Trust the timing of your life and let your spirit lead the way. The universe is speaking in the quiet of the day. Release the fear and find your ground. The soul is taking flight. You're walking in your purpose and you're shining in the light. Your chart is like a promise born the moment you arrive. A blueprint for the magic that is helping you survive. Saturn brings the lessons, but the sun brings out the gold. A story of a destiny that's waiting to unfold. So plant your feet in red clay, let the ancestors speak low. There is a rhythm to the harvest and a time for things to grow. Don't rush the transition or the shedding of the skin. The greatest transformation always starts from deep within. Trust the timing of your life and let your spirit lead the way. The universe is speaking in the quiet of the day. Release the fear and find your ground. The soul is taking flight. You're walking in your purpose and you're shining in the light. It's written in the houses and it's pulsing in your veins. Break away the gravity and lose the mental chains. From the moonbeams to the mountains, every atom has a part. You carry all the cosmos in the chambers of your heart. Trust the timing of your life and let your spirit lead the way. The universe is speaking in the quiet of the day. Release the fear and find your ground. The soul is taking flight. You're walking in your purpose and you're shining in the light.